quality and again the accessibility to the technology and this latest algorithm and the coding, which the mainstream or the developed country have access to, but is not have to the access to the least developed countries and the developing countries to the extent. What there is an issue of trust and relevance, because since the regulatory framework is not ready or has not been developed by majority of the companies, by majority of the economies, right? It may be interesting for you to note that barring European Union, none of the economies had developed its artificial intelligence regime. Europe is one of the few, I would say, trade bloc that has come with a comprehensive artificial intelligence regulations. There have been some development, if I touch upon the global perspective of China and United States. China again want to make it very uh, state restrictive, and while the United States is open and have more flexibility in their artificial regulations. There are regulatory gaps, which includes lack of data protection and frameworks and absence of AI ethics and guidelines. On this note, when it comes to AI ethics and guidelines, I think there is very thin line difference. I would share that with a anecdote here. 6 months before, we were doing a digital trade in association with Bloomsbury, one of the renowned international publisher. One of the contributors, like what we are in this conference, was from Argentina. I will not take name, but the respected author mentioned that she or he has used the artificial intelligence. Uh, I don't have any legality to check and to understand that up to what length and extent the usage of AI should be permissible. Because the rationale which she or he has given to me was very logical. She said, or he said, that I have taken the assistance of artificial intelligence only for the editorial purpose, because I don't have the resources to engage an professional team to do that for me, which the academicians or the research teams of the developed countries have. I have the lack of resources, I have the lack of funding. So I have leveraged the position of this technology to bridge the gap, which was really shaking for me as well, because I technically have no rationality to reject their paper. So I think that is the day-to-day challenges for every economy, especially the economies that lacks institutional funding to address this critical issue of artificial intelligence, to understand and to break it down with a optimist perspective that what actions of artificial intelligence can be permissible and where we have to draw a line. Now, can I have a next slide, please? So, in this slide, to start with, and maybe a very textbook style of doing it, let's have a 5A, what we call a framework, a comprehensive guide to becoming AI ready in today's digital landscape. Starting with availability. Availability, access to electricity, as basic as the basic facility to avail and leverage this technology is access to basic facilities like electricity, broadband, affordable devices is essential. Second is awareness, like what we are doing today. We are sensitizing our younger generation and the students about this timely topic of artificial intelligence. This is what may be considered as an awareness, which should be done by such academic gathering, by the governments, by the NGOs, by the like the other responsible organization around the world. Second, agency. There should be some regulating body who will decide that up to what length and extent the uses of artificial intelligence is legit, and where we need to draw a line to come up with a consistent and universal framework, so which will maintain the democracy even among different economies as well when it comes to usage of artificial intelligence in different uh, walk of lives. Fourth is the ecosystem, which will include a certain investment, which I will touch upon, because India has already, I would like to appraise this August gathering, that India has already come up with its own artificial intelligence strategy, which is stage by stage, relatively quite structured. I will touch upon that, but which is precisely I'm touching upon the ecosystem. You have to build up an ecosystem, infrastructure, research labs, partnership to support AI, which may be both private and public investments, accountability, which I've already discussed, an anecdote which I've off lately experienced about the ethics. Now will focus and will like to share with the audience what is India's model or what is India's strategies when it comes to artificial intelligence. I will appreciate if you can move to the next slide, please. Thank you. So, Indian Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology in March 2024 has come up with what we considered as India AI Initiative. There are 7 pillars of India AI mission, which includes India AI computation through public-private partnership, India AI Innovation Center, which will focus on indigenous and foundational models, India AI database, which is considered like a unified portal to which is accessible free of cost to every individual researchers, academician, and the industry and the other stakeholders. India AI Application Development Initiative, because since we live in this era of information technology, we should leverage that position that you can access and maybe optimize the usage of artificial intelligence while walking on a road or sitting in this room as well, and you don't need to go to a research lab to access it. India AI Future Skills, which is very important, and I mentioned that since we have few students here, they should be sensitized regarding the importance of artificial intelligence today and tomorrow. If I can break it down and maybe a very rudimentary or a very casual example, but trust me, artificial intelligence is nothing different what computer maybe 40 years ago or internet maybe a 30 years ago looks like. What I mean to say is, you cannot, you may love it, you may hate it, you cannot ignore artificial intelligence in the coming in today and coming time. So what is relevant is to be ready for the artificial intelligence, so we can leverage instead of extending some hate to this advanced technology. India AI startup financing is the sixth pillar, that is to boost indigenous model of artificial intelligence and to promote the local talent, and safe and trusted AI, which will touch upon the regulatory and the ethics of usage of artificial intelligence, which is the again as important as the technology. Now comes the, as I touch upon that, the regulator, and which we always look back to the multilateral system, that is World Trade Organization. What is the role of WTO in this? Would like to share that existingly WTO has not any concrete framework when it comes to artificial intelligence. Some elements of it can be traced back to agreement on technical barriers to trade under TRIPS and some provisions of GATT. I think few of my academician colleagues can relate that to, but still there is a long way to go even for the WTO. So what WTO can do, it can trade as an enabler for AI discussion. So it can facilitate the discussion for what should be the artificial intelligence regime for the global world. Next slide, please. So again, a key concern is whether the last slide, the previous one. So this is which I would say a moot question for us today is a key concern is whether AI enhanced trade will deliver broad shared economic benefit or mainly benefit a small number of technology advanced economies and large firms. And since we have a lot of research students and the academicians here, I think this can be the statement of problem for us for the future conferences. To make a judgment that whether it is only a shining ball or it has some significance in our day-to-day life. Now, the last part of today's discussion, that is the policy recommendation for inclusive AI. The next slide, please, is first the infrastructure development, which I think I've touched upon through the 5A strategy and the India's model, which includes uh, and which warrants an endeavor to build robust digital infrastructure, including broadband, networks, data centers, reliable power system, public public-private partnership for infrastructure investment, rural connectivity, so that even the last man in the queue can be a beneficiary of this advanced technology, green technology integration, regulatory. The second limb of what I say an actionable policy recommendation. First is, of course, an infrastructure development, which I have discussed. The second is the regulatory framework, which is really critical from the legal point of view as well. We have to establish a comprehensive governance structure for ethical AI deployment, which maintain WTO moratorium on digital custom duties, harmonize global digital trade standard, ensure free cross-border trade flow. My last slide, please. So, conclusively, AI is not just a technology revolution. AI, it's a development opportunity that requires strategic policy framework and inclusive governance. And I would like to conclude my keynote address with a very motivating and a meaningful uh, submission quoted by Fei Li, a pioneering AI researcher. He says that the future of AI, let me repeat, the future of AI is not about man versus machine. The future of AI is not about man versus machine, but rather man with machine. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you very much for Dr. Amit Randev. Let us give him a round of applause again for the very insightful presentation, and he covered most of the topics. We're gonna now go delve deep in the panel discussion. So for our panel, we have the privilege of having Dr. Amit uh, Randev joining us again. If we could go back and come and take a seat. And then we will have Prince Rukundo from the College of Business and Economics. Please join the panel. Let's welcome Prince Rukundo. He's from the University of Rwanda College of Business and Economics. So we have two panelists who will be online. So we are talking about AI. We need to integrate also technology in what we are doing. So the first uh, panelist who is online is Maurice Guamigabo from UNDP. I'm happy to see him connected. So Maurice, you are welcome. Can we welcome Maurice? And last but not least, we have Professor Saon Ray from the Indian Council for Research on International Economic Relations. Professor Saon, I hope he's connected. Perfect, I'm lucky. All my panelists are available. Now I think I can take my seat and try to engage them. Thank you very much. I think I will start the panel of discussion with Dr. Randev, who gave us his overall insight. I would like to ask him to elaborate more because you touch on a very important point, which is, of course, machine learning, AI, deep learning, those technologies and tools are coming to disrupt the business as usual. People have been transacting using maybe the online retail, internet. We know all what big um, company like Amazon, they already apply such tools in targeting customers. We all know when you want to buy a book, there is always something. You can also buy these books. So if you click 3 times, you have proposals. And then for if you are traveling, you're in a hotel, you arrive somewhere, and you can also visit the museum, and then people can simply profile you after leaving a digital footprint. So we saw it coming. Now AI is coming as an optimization tool to better manage data. And I like the way you state AI is not a new thing. There are people surprised when talking about AI as if it's new. This is an idea which was there. It has been just being able to be implemented because computing power and interconnectivity has been amplified in such a way that we can leverage the potential. But the idea of using machine for processing data is part of the computing system. So for me, I'm seeing it as a global issue. All countries must follow. At which extent do you think AI and machine learning, building or not, represent development in retail and supply chain optimization, reshape the global business and trade landscape, particularly the legal and the regulatory framework that shall be put in place to allow countries to adapt to a disruptive nature of AI and machine learning tools. I'm foreseeing some disruption of business as usual, as I start saying. So what is your advice with your role as the legal consultant and the framework you presented, the 5 A's and other, the key emphasis you put on having the right regulatory framework? I'm seeing a challenge, particularly with the AI, the e-trades. How can you harmonize? Because there is an issue of harmonization. Countries have their own regulatory. They may not have the same level of maturity in terms of AI adoption. How do you regularize, regulate the, the international trades in the context of AI with different level of maturity? So that is one aspect, but we can elaborate more on this, um, the way it can shape the global business. The, are we foreseeing a bright future positive, or we are seeing a kind of disruption in a bad sense? What's your opinion about that? So maybe you can start by you, and then I'll take our comments. Some of the aspects have been covered in the presentation you're putting out. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Professor, thank you so much uh, for your careful listening of my address and for this wonderful question and maybe a moot question for today that up to what length and extent the usage of AI in today's global trade and economics should be permissible, where we need to draw a line, what is the legal aspect of it. I will touch upon that and whether it has the potential to disrupt the business or not. So let me start with the legal part first. Like any other law of any economy, AI regulation will not be different. When I say it's not be different, it has to be created, taken into consideration the socio-economical, financial, political, and other aspect of each economy, because it's not that one shoe will fit all persons. So we have to walk around the nitty-gritties of it. I will give you with an example. uh, as basic as criminal justice system, which is available in largely all the economies, whether it is least developed country, developing country, or the developed countries. But there are certain things which are fundamental in nature, which I would say something as basic as principle of natural justice, which we as a modern day or a civil law system derive from a Magna Carta. What it says, it said that no one should be condemned without unheard. That is very foundational. You cannot waive any of such substantive requirement. But what we can do, you can work around the nitty-gritties and the procedural thing. So the criminal justice system, what we have in India, may be different from what we have in the Middle East or what we have in US when it comes to the procedural or the day-to-day nitty-gritties and the process of investigation by the security forces, by the investigating agencies. But the fundamental that no one should be condemned unheard uh, remains same. I would like to continue this analogy even when it comes to artificial intelligence, because you, depending on the development state of that particular economy, you can work around the operationality and the modalities of the framework. But there are certain things which will remain very fundamental when it comes to ethics of artificial intelligence usage. I've touched upon that in my presentation. uh, I think looking forward and the precedents we already have, because I think that is a way we do policy research as well, to look at the, to have a comparative study of what already we have. So today, I would not like to restrict that with that, but yes, let's take into consideration that there are precisely three narrative been pushed for artificial intelligence. One is what the EU has given to the world, that is the first AI regulation system. The second I have touched upon in my presentation is the one being pushed by the China, China PR, which is again very state restrictive and has lesser flexibilities. And like United States, which is open to explore and have more flexibilities. So these are the three systems uh, which may be taken into consideration by every economy while framing their domestic regulations. And then uh, at a global level, and since we live in a multilateral world where every aspect of our existence is inter and interdependent, so we should look up to the WTO as well to at least as a forum of discussion for this critical issue. And now this is for the first legal part, that how, what is a way ahead to look at it. First is to look at the domestic requirement, take into consideration all the socio-economic and cultural aspect of that particular economy. Secondly is what can be a rightful forum, that maybe we, at least for this, since we have already invested a lot in the WTO, so we can look up to work out the nitty-gritties of the artificial intelligence as well, like all other technical subject matters. Now, coming to the second part of your question, that whether it has the potential of disrupt the business, I think we have already missed the bus. I think the disruption has already started, and I will rightly agree to you that at least superficially or apparently it looks that it is in the hands of some big tech companies existingly, but it can be leveraged since I look at as that we hardly have an option to ignore this technology, and we should kickstart the preparation to deal with this very fast changing technology day by day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that is a very good insight. I'm going to turn to Prince Rukundo as a researcher and a lecturer at the University of Rwanda, College of Business and Economy. Of course, you are training the future skills for enhancing business. And I imagine that during your engagement of your students, this topic of AI and the way it's pervasive in terms of driving the business, that is somehow, that is my humble assumption, integrated in your curriculum. And the College of Business and Economics, AI is not left for the data science. I know that the data science, our Center of Excellence in Data Science actually is intentionally located in the College of Business and Economics. So I think that is a potential to leverage where business, data science are put together, and we work together with the College of Science and Technology. So as business corporates are adopting AI and machine learning to refine their retail and marketing, as well as optimize their supply chain, how do you think SMEs, which constitute the biggest share of business, even micro and small businesses, uh, are there as a big pool of businesses which are operated, particularly in developing countries like Rwanda? As a researcher and as an academician, can how do you think those SMEs can better design their business strategies to avoid being left behind? Because among the risks Dr. Randev mentioned is a divide, the AI divide. How do you think, from your perspective at the College of Business and Economics, what kind of insight can you provide to avoid the digital divide but allow SMEs, the small business, to leverage the potential of AI, though we are seeing, according to what Dr. Randev said, this is showing some monopoly of big firms driving the AI revolution. How can we ensure that we're not left behind?
Yeah.
Give your insight, please.
Thank you very much for this good question. Basically, I would like to mention something. When you talk about AI, there are three aspects which are very important. The availability of data, the infrastructure, and the engineers who knows to train those models. So if one of them is missing, we cannot talk about AI. So with that ecosystem, when the infrastructure is ready, when we have a pool of data, and when we have those good engineers who can train the models, then we can now start thinking about AI. So for the question you ask, most of the SMEs, how can we make sure they embrace AI and maybe increase profitability and then they're not left behind? There are a lot of things, aspect again to look at it. Uh, Most of the SMEs now, do they have that access to the three things I said, or they have to leapfrog and adopt new technologies? So if, for example, is to start from scratch, they say we are going to start our own model which assists us to grow. That will not be much more easier. Our presenter, Dr. Amit, said about it. He said about the funding and about the infrastructure, the power and everything. So on my side, one of the most important things to see, can we leapfrog and grab what is pre-existing? And if that is the model, there also should be look some of the aspect. Most of the models that are being produced now are black box models. In other words, we have models that we don't know who trained them, and then how do they work, and then who actually is behind the operational of those models. That's one of the key problem. In other words, most of SMEs, that's why university has to be part of the game. How can you produce new engineers, developers who really understand the key problem of those SMEs? Understand SMEs requirement is this one. Can you again, even though we have some pre-existing model, can you customize those model to respond to a specific problem or answer the SME is possessing? I may give an example. Today we have something called trade agent. I think you know about it, where you do no longer need to worry about your business as long as the trade agent is well informed about your daily decisions or daily operations, from supply to risk management, dynamic routing, until the first person to buy the product. Uh, I'm very happy to hear my doctor, the principal of NCSTs talk about it. We've got about sentiment analysis. Now, if you're targeting a certain person, certain customers, how do you make sure your model understands the sentiment? Do you really read their minds and propose what they need? So, on my point of view, SMEs should, first of all, leapfrog, because starting from the scratch is expensive that they cannot afford. Number two, they need to find people who understand the models, design a model which respond directly to their daily needs. And finally, where AI is going is unlimited as long as they are good will, data availability, good infrastructure, and good engineers. I'm pretty sure they can actually customize the daily operations and have a stronger model which respond to your needs.
Thank you very much for such a wonderful insight. I'm going to shift to uh, our colleagues, panelists online, and I will start by Professor Saon Ray. I hope you are connected. If you are hearing us, I want to take from the last point mentioned by Rukundo, the issue of privacy, the issue of data management. As someone working at Indian Council for Research and International Economic Relation, we understand very well that AI is borderless. Is borderless. So you don't have a single regulation. You could see how Randev refer us to the WTO in order to put in place a forum for discussion. If you analyze the approach from USA, it's not the same. Is the, not, the global north does not have a consensus around the regulatory framework. Some are more open, some are more preventive, like EU, and the Africa is shaping. If you could see some country, Rwanda has its AI policy already in place. Kenya the same, and many countries are adopting. But when it comes to harmonization of international economic relations, AI is coming to play a role, and we are sharing data. Platforms are borderless. When I buy on Amazon, I don't consult the regulatory framework of the national bank. The transactions are borderless. With this globalization, and which is enhanced even furthermore with AI, I would like you to, you can also mention some thoughts around the topic I raised before with the two panelists, but I wish, as AI and machine learning are extensively used in refining the retail and marketing strategy of business to enhance customer experience, what are your thoughts around issues such as customer privacy and risk of biases? Because you are playing on international scale, cultures are different. AI will not really be the common denominator in terms of allowing cultural consider aspect, consideration of cultural consideration. And the second part of my question, what do you recommend as a suitable information security approach to mitigate any abuse of the use of AI and machine learning in the supply and demand interaction at the international level? So if you could elaborate some thoughts around it or comment about the point I raised before, the floor is open to you. Prof, have you follow us? Can you confirm?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. People from the technical, please activate the sound. The floor is yours. I think we have a
speakers before and you, Chair. Now, I would like to talk about two things. Firstly, since you referred to the fact that you are from an engineering background, um, the way economists are seeing AI is slightly different or narrower than I think what engineers are seeing AI. And why that is important, it will become clear in a moment. Because I think what we are referring to as AI in economics and trade, it's basically automation and use of robots. But
Mhm.
but I think in the engineering sciences it is much broader than that. And so this is just to so we know that trade is going to play a very important role in this whole the spread of AI, because in fact the diffusion of AI models will uh,
May-
services trade, as you also pointed out. And by reducing trade costs and enhancing efficiency, I could reshape comparative advantage and alter trade patterns. Now, the question is, of course, that and there are many examples of how AI is being used in the context of trade, in case of retails and retail operations, etc. Um, um, Now, so basically, one is that we have to distinguish between AI-enabled services and goods, which encompass a broad array of sectors that are either incorporating AI in their production processes or are being fundamentally transformed by AI. So this is actually the problem in the regulation as well, especially as Amit mentioned, is coming from this fact that these definitions also are slowly evolving. And many AI applications are delivered as services rather than standalone products, and of course, often crossing borders via digital networks and bypassing international trade barriers. Now, specifically coming to your question about, on retail. Now, one of the things that AI is helping is basically predictive and prescriptive analysis to enhance resilience. And there are some examples. For example, Unilever is using digital twin simulations to model logistic shocks. KPMG is deploying AI to manage global trade and compliance risks. Then there are other examples. For example, Siemens is using AI procurement systems to predict supplier delays. BMW is employing AI to coordinate global component flows and optimize transport routes. So many such examples. But the problem that is coming, particularly in the context of AI, is that with respect to developing economies, is that often SMEs are getting excluded, and also particularly some developing countries are also getting excluded from the process. And so this actually has reference to what is called the digital divide, and there has been a lot of warning about that while the potential for productivity enhancement through AI, efficiency costs, etc., could be quite important, the fact that this is actually leaving some people behind. And one of the so WTO, Amit referred to the fact that the WTO is doesn't really have a mechanism in place. But then I'll come back to that in a moment. There is another thing that is being done, which is the UL Digital Compact. This is supported by the United Nations, and this is basically going to help developing countries leapfrog the AI ML adoption by embedding equity, collaboration, and open access. Now, open access, you understand, is a very important part of it. And this also refers to the, this brings in the question of privacy along with it, because, access is very important, but then how do you protect the rights of or privacy of And India, particularly, we have been having a lot of debate regarding the privacy issue. I don't think we have resolved that yet. Now, what basically is needed in this case is that one needs to bridge the digital divide. You need to provide AI to a lot of people and give them as give it to them as an access. But then, how should it be done? And it should be also while protecting the privacy. So one of the ways in which it can be done, and there is a lot of discussion internationally about this, is that AI can be treated like a global public good. And there is this whole the DPI, the talk about the digital public infrastructure as a means for providing that. Um, Now, the thing is that again, with the case of DPIs, India has had some success as far as DPI is concerned, but this is only with respect to the payments part of it, and not really with the other kinds of issues. Little bit of trade finance has also been addressed, but not really the other aspects. So I think there is a lot of things that we need to think about. Then the other kind of the divide that is coming up is basically the need for critical minerals, because a lot of the components that will go into producing, say, things like semiconductors for AI and other AI infrastructure will require these critical minerals. So then basically what is needed is targeted investment in digital infrastructure, addressing the skill gaps where they are, and also enabling policies um, where it is needed. With respect to the WTO, one of the things that I would like to mention is that there has been some discussion that maybe the telecommunications chapter in WTO needs to be revisited. The standards issue needs to be looked at. The whole e-commerce and digital trade is, of course, being discussed. So I think we are still in the realm of evolving regulatory landscape, and only through collaboration, I think, one can achieve these kinds of things that one is that is desirable. Now, obviously there are advantages of AI, but there are also caution. There has to be caution because of issues like with respect to privacy, or even with respect to the kind of labor issues. For example, the automation can displace a lot of labor, and there has been a lot of discussion about the kind of jobs that AI could actually displace. So for all of that, I think a lot more discussion and debate needs to be done. And within a country, as a country is developing its AI infrastructure, but also internationally in forums such as this, and and maybe multilateral organizations like the UN or the G20, as well as WTO. Just before I conclude, one thing just I wanted to mention is with respect to the Africa's the free trade Africa free continental free trade agreement. Now, this is in fact one example where AI is being used, and so, for example, for trade facilitation as well as automation, and as also for digital trade and data interoperability. Now, which is a very good thing because it is providing real-time exchange of trade insights, managing it can help manage regulatory compliance, etc. But of course, the earlier points about caution needs to be re-emphasized. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your very insightful intervention. And I'm going to turn to Maurice Guamigabo, who is online also, the next panelist. Maurice, if you are listening to our conversation, and I know UNDP has been busy investing a lot of efforts in establishing university innovation pods, which are really enhancing the ecosystem in terms of allowing young innovators and startup to be formed, but also to thrive as you provide support in collaboration with the Ministry of ICT and innovation, but also working closely with other stakeholders in the ecosystem. Which kind of intervention or interventions do you expect to be done to allow young innovators and startups to leverage the potential of AI and machine learning? So, Prof. Ray mentioned about the potential risk of, it was also mentioned by Randev, that we are seeing big corporates being much more beneficiary of the dividends of AI, and the SMEs and startup need to have a good strategy in order to get um, less constraints in terms of entry, addressing the issue of entry barriers for their product to enter the complex retail and supply chain um, environment. So, how do you think those innovators can leverage AI to ensure that AI and the sophistication of product marketing and supply chain management is driven by those complex systems managed by AI? How do you think they can cope with the potential entry barriers when the market is sophisticated like that? So, what are your thoughts as someone who is passionate about supporting startup at the formation level, but also their 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 development? Please take the floor. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Doctor. Uh, I don't know if you're able to hear me. Good morning.
Perfectly, we can hear you.
Great. Good morning. My name is Maurice Rwamigabo. I'm happy to be here to this important discussion with well-established researchers and professionals in the AI field. To me, I will just speak into a layman's language, or a user or a consumer of the AI. But I believe the artificial intelligence is really a multiplier and an amplifier for whatever initiative we are doing. And this really gives us the super the superpower for researchers, and also in this case the startups that are engineering different solutions. This gives them the opportunity to turn around at an unprecedented speed with solutions that are required. If you allow me to use a small analogy, if you look at a small plot where you would back in the days you would have one classroom where students would sit in there, maybe all piled there, like 50 to 100 students sitting in one shade. But now all of a sudden the technology changes and you're able to build skyscrapers. You find in one plot where you are building one schoolroom, you are able now to stack them and you can have 50 floors. And the engineering provides the capabilities to have many students, many lab students, house collaboration spaces and libraries. But the more buildings or the more floors you add, that's how the guardrails become important. On every balcony, you need to have a guardrail. Even on the walkway, you need to have a fire exit. You need to have elevators with a safety inspection, structural integrity, and the building code that ensures nobody gets trapped or harmed with that tall building. Now, if you apply that to the AI, so the AI has really enhanced the human capacity, those who are willing to embrace it. And basically, people are afraid that it is going to replace us. But I don't think that is true. It might actually help us to be amplified in whatever we do. But then we need to have some kind of the AI safety and trust, where we put a break. Can the AI models that are being developed, even solution, have a way that are encompassing the integrity that is required, the trust and safety. And if you look at the capabilities that AI are really helping achieve, take an example. In most students will do prototyping, and then it will require going through a series of tests. But with AI, it can actually help you simulate and use different models and the testing techniques to ascertain that your prototype is really responding to the different requirement out there stipulated. So it really gives us the capability, or even the startups in this context, to turn around at a very high speed with a solution. But again, uh, faster turnaround can also be a faster fail if there is if you don't take into consideration some of the fundamental aspect of why you're designing solution, and in the end, the consumers don't really mind the technology behind that. What we see is this innovation or invention helpful to my needs, what I need to be doing. The technology, the environment, what goes in the background, the users don't really care much. All they want to see is that they are able to be satisfied, especially now with like the customer feedback, the way we interact with uh, internet, what we normally look for online shopping and all that. And if it is able to predict and give me the recommendation I want, then really I don't mind seeing, is this model is great, who has developed it. But so I would conclude by saying that in the end, technology doesn't uh, it's not the end in itself, but rather what it can do for the people that need to use it. And I think AI is actually helping everyone uh, to have solution at a very unprecedented speed. If you look at what I even suspect, I don't have research around, but how the COVID vaccine, we were able to have it very fast. It could be somehow attributed also to the advancement of AI on how it allowed to do the quick testing and turnaround. So I'll pause here and follow
Thank
the
you, Maurice.
conversation over.
Thank you. So as you could see, my panelists have been productive. Can we give them a round of applause? My time has elapsed, actually. I don't have room for question unless there is a burning comment touching one point for someone who can pitch for 5 seconds making a statement in the audience. Is there any volunteer? Okay. So everything has been clear. So I'm gonna end the panel with some question to make you work. You've been listening, isn't it? Very simple one. And then you raise your hand, and it's a binary question. So if you don't raise your hand, it means you've accepted the other option. Okay? I don't give any gray zone. So let us start. How many among you think AI constitutes an opportunity for the growth of business, including SMEs, locally and globally? So it's not everyone. So we don't have 100%, but the majority think is an opportunity. Okay? Thank you. There is no marking. Those who said no, it's your right. Okay? I do not ask you to justify. It was a vote, a blank vote. Okay? So, Second, someone has touched on the issue of jobs. That's the biggest debate now. And I'm gonna lose my job as a secretary or as a bank a retailer in a supermarket and so on. In terms of job creation, job loss, and we have young people here who are caring about their future. So, how many among you think AI constitutes a threat in a job market in terms of losing a job? Is my question clear? Ali, we go. How many think there is a threat in terms of impacting the job market, particularly losing jobs? So you don't see any, the rest do not see any threat. Okay? Mitigate. Someone is want to put both. So who think it depends? Okay. Okay. I can't get a majority. So maybe we need to, during the coffee break or any kind of setup, to reflect on it. Maybe walk breakout sessions, okay? Because that is a public debate of AI taking jobs away, while other things actually to bring more jobs. So reconversion may be needed. Those were my improvised interaction with you. I want to again thank the panelists and let us give them a round of applause. Thank you for your intervention. And I want to thank you for your kind attention. And now the session and the panel discussion are closed. Thank you. Now give the floor to the MC.
Okay, thank you. Uh, Thank you for panelists and a very good discussion about AI. And the audience did not give their comment, but as someone in AI field, I can give a comment that AI is here to stay, whether you like it or not. And as the first keynote speaker said, that it is machine versus human, but for me, I would say machine and business. So AI is a very important tool for business intelligence, especially in customer satisfaction analysis, market segmentation, business operation modeling, return on investment analysis for a sustainable business. So AI is here with us. Thank you. And I would like to call the next speaker, Mr. Muralem, Chief Executive Officer, A Trade Group, is going to talk about the youth entrepreneurship and the Sokoku integrated ecosystem. Most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, MC. Good morning, dear colleagues. Let me just bring that supporting small and medium entrepreneurs within the integrated ecosystem for sustainable business growth. And prior I start that, I want to explain why we do this. In the continent that in the last 40 years, small business has never been growing. In fact, government makes an extraordinary effort to support small business. Every year, hundreds and thousands of businesses, small businesses being created, and average, they don't even celebrate their 5th birthday. And the question is why? And that is the why who has made us to come up with the potential solution how we can support based small businesses. And the challenge they face small business in the continent is there is so many issues that we identify 3 chronic challenges. 1 is the know how to do business. 2, affordable finance. 3, which we call it soft infrastructure. The know how to do business is African small businesses start with a traditional business, where the traditional business mindset is very flexible compared to the competitive business mindset. For example, the traditional business mindset will say, if I sell 2 items today, it is okay. Whereas the competitive business mindset will say, I must sell 10 items today. The word must is determinant, and it is projected also its potential of 10 items today. Whereas the traditional business mindset, if I sell 2 items today, the word if is very flexible. You may do it, you may not do it, but it is also targeted the baseline, the day-to-day income need, that survival mood of mindset. So how can we change this mindset to be a competitive business mindset where the must is detrimental and it is also projected? It doesn't matter how that either they sell 10 items today, 8, 9, 7 items today, they are in the pathway of sustainable business growth. So that is one of the chronic challenges small business faces. The second chronic challenge is affordable finance, where because of that vulnerability of that survival mood of if I sell 2 items today, and the word if is making them very flexible, they may do it, they may not do it. If they sell 1, they cannot survive because that is the baseline of 2 items today. So where the financial institution has been neglected because the high potential risk of default. So that is the second chronic challenge that has been faced. The third chronic challenge is, which we call it the soft infrastructure, government policies and regulatory framework. How can we make affordable for a small business to do business? How can we create an enabling environment that is small businesses to do in a competitive way? So these 3 chronic challenges, how we have come up with 6 major components of which we call it integrated ecosystem for sustainable business growth. The first one is a training material called Changing the Mindset. Changing the mindset to be productive, changing the mindset to be efficient, because productivity and efficiency leads to competitiveness. That is one. The second one is business without soft skill cannot be sustainable. So the soft skill, including communications and marketing and sales, that is another sustainable potential growth that can bring. Those fundamental foundation that build this business for sustainability. Of course, there is a number of modules that come associated with it, but those are fundamental. The second one is marketplace. Business without market linkage cannot be sustainable. How can we bring an aggregation way of a small business that to link their markets? First of all, as Africans, currently we don't know each other who is producing what with the continent. So let us bring it in the continental marketplace to get to know each other, who is producing what in the continent. Second, and work the matchmaking work within the marketplace itself. The third component is to do this marketplace to work, of course, it is also important that to come up for small business to scale. Once you have the foundation of the training for a small business, the second one is once you have also the marketplace, there is the de-risking mechanism that the potential for them to survive and growth is much higher. Therefore, affordable finance can emerge. And we offer also with the number of partners, financial partners, to come up with affordable finance. Earlier on here that we has with the distinguished researchers and distinguished speakers has talked about the AI, and where it can benefit AI in here is that AI can support on data, and using data for every and each small business, AI can be a digital trade advisor, AI can be a business advisor. So it can profile each businesses and millions of businesses within second that on a daily basis that AI can be able to support for each and every small businesses by analyzing their own data within the platform itself. AI can provide the data analysis for the due diligence, the vetting process of getting affordable finance. AI can get based on data for small business insurance. So those are the practical works that can be made, and we will be very happy to work with my brother on research and within the University of Rwanda to support on this under the African Continental Free Trade Area. The small business can be at the center of through the support of this to build sustainabilities and changing the status quo and the narrative from the fragmented market to a unified platform. So those are the number of things that we'll bring, of course. And the other component that I have not mentioned is about the payment system. The small business, a number of challenges in the continent that we had is when you have a cross-border trade to make, to get the money, it takes you between 10 to 20 days. And that small business, they don't have enough inventory. They have to wait that money to buy again, to produce again, and to sell. That can change with instant payment system of cross-border that can be made. So the other element that can be support is that the value-added services, that real data for policymakers, for industries, for regional and continental organizations, data can be available and policymakers can be able to adapt based on this data-driven market. So this is the integrated ecosystem for sustainable business growth in short. And now I will give to my colleagues that is also to have the discussions, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I would like to call Mr. Richard Niwenshuti.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I'm very mindful of the possibility that most of you, your caffeine is going down. So I'm going to rush the next discussions. Thank you, CEO, for that opening. If you noticed the sequence of our discussions since yesterday, we moved from multilateral trading systems. We came down to solutions that can be done to support businesses and governments. Just a minute ago, we were discussing about the relevance of AI to business and private sector. Right now, what you have not heard since yesterday is the voices of the private sector, the SMEs, and the young people. So I will not take much of the time. I want us to have that discussion. It's more like a fireside chat to really come out with an understanding of what can we do together, practically. You have seen the integrated ecosystem that is being driven by Africa Electronic Trade Group. You have heard the AI, how it can support businesses to flourish. You know very well that we have targets not only on the national level under NST2, but also under our Agenda 2063, but also the CFTA commitments to trade. And that calls into the business community to have a saying. I want to pick on the different panelists that talked about yesterday. Maybe let me start by Dr. Pial yesterday. She mentioned that in the discussions around policy formulations, there is a tendency that we leave out the private sector. Where are they in that discussion? I took that seriously. Two, the Professor Loy online mentioned about the excluding of SMEs when we are coming up with these emerging technologies, and how we help them to be skilled. And that is very critical because we need to have a triple collaboration, universities, government, and private sector in driving this emerging technology. That's the only way they can help us to build sustainable business contribution into our agendas. So without further ado, let me invite my panelist, Johnson Lukunda, who is a national economist at UNDP and academia. Let me also invite Jacqueline, private sector owner, Zamara. Please, you're welcome. And I will invite Adeline, who is one of our digital trade advisors, who has been participating in our digital trade program under eTrade Group. And please hang in there. We're going to make it very short. We won't take much of the time. Very good. Thank you very much. Probably to give you an idea, I am coming from our public sector to private sector. So I'm moving from where policies are designed to where it's happening, practice. So the question here is to think, when this conference is done and everyone is gone, how do we come out with tangible, collaborative solutions that make it happen? That when we come next year and we sit in this room, we are looking at those collaborations that just emerged out of this discussion. So to start there, let me ask Johnson. We have universities here, we have government, we have private sector. How can we harness collaboration that provides practical interventions, especially when it comes to responding to sustainable business growth, but also job creation?
Thank you, Richard. I think the creation of, maybe let me start like universities, private sector, and maybe policymakers. They also need to think about or design pathways that are clearly designed to look at how the youth, especially like in Rwanda, could move from learning to earning. And this needs to be done through different pathways. I think one would be like having the private sector should have a role in designing the curricula that links to the demands in the private sector. Two, there should be some, universities should act like innovation hubs for the private sector so that private sector can always go look at the skills based on the data, based on the internships undertaken, and pick the right people. I'm not saying there would be wrong people, but matching the skills of what the private sector wants from the academia. There should be also some interlinkages between the knowledge produced at the same time what would be the required skills and growth trends. We have always had a tendency of teaching, lecturing, then we just send students outside there. And there is always a phase of now, how do we match? What does the private sector also takes time to again integrate the so-called qualified. So I suggest that we should think beyond just issuing certificates at the university A certificate should be a reflection of the kind of a skill that we need from outside. We imagine like a student going, SMEs, they are producing, maybe, let's say, I just give an example of packed honey. How is this going to be fermented? How is this going to be packaged? We don't teach this in school. In most cases, we just say blending, labeling, or whatever. But practically, if an SME wants to name it Soku, how is this student going to facilitate? You have seen in Rwanda packaging of chili, for example, distribution through supermarkets. How can they convince the final consumer that this is the commodity right for consumption? It has an expiry date, and expiry means ABC on health. The linkages between the innovation hubs, at the same time matching it with the skills. Finally, the startup ecosystem needs to be involved. Universities need to be involved. We are looking at RDB doing one part, AI Trade is doing another part. So there is this sort of a scatter where the university is not involved. And I would propose personally that there should be innovation hubs that link startups with what is demanded outside in the private sector. Maybe I stop there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What I'm listening is that there should be deliberate and intentional involvement of the academia and the private sector in the designing of the curriculum. There should be intentional skills that are supportive to the current realities within the SME space. Those are concrete actions that we can even be considering in our next arrangements. Let me come to you, Jackie. You already have an ongoing arrangement with the University of Rwanda in which training services and skilling around it is your contribution. Share with us your experience, but probably also tell us what should be done better so that we can concretize this arrangement and scale it.
Thank you so much, Richard. The agreement or the partnership between Zamara and the University of Rwanda is particularly on what we do as two institutions. University of Rwanda is looked at as an engine for knowledge transfer and talent development. Zamara is an institution that provides financial services, namely actuarial services, insurance broking, and also pension administration and pension consultancy. And when I joined Zamara, the first thing I found on the market was we've got a golden opportunity as Rwanda, as a financial sector, to get actuarial expertise on the market. Meaning, there was an actuarial course at the University of Rwanda, but what was, of course, I would call it theoretical, as Johnson just mentioned, but there was no practical knowledge. So I took it as an opportunity to enter into partnership with the University of Rwanda so that I can be an accelerator to this practical practical application of knowledge. So what we did, it is in two ways. In the first place, actuarial being a new concept on the market, pension being a new concept on the market, insurance broking having also limited understanding among the community, there was a need to trigger the partnership with the university so that we can at least transfer that theoretical knowledge into practical knowledge. So we started by at least talking to students and, to be sincere, some students admitted to actuarial sciences. Sorry, actually it is not actuarial sciences. It is applied statistics, where they specialize in either demography or actuarial science and something else, I think statistics. But these who have specialized in actuarial science, it is a component that they have just gotten into. They don't know even where they should apply this. Let me bring it to your attention. Actuarial science is applied in financial institutions. However, it is also applied into economic development. A country cannot survive or cannot project its growth and its development without using actuarial moderations. So, when we started talking to students, I'm sorry I'm taking long, but I need to. So, when we started talking to students, we had to tell them that once you have this is a unique skill, but you need to go into practical, and then you need to apply it. You apply it. You can apply it into. You can go to banks. You can go to insurance companies. You can go to actuarial firms like Samara. You can go to data science companies. And let me be sincere here that all those financial institutions, they need data scientists. And so we started now having discussions. We have had enough, I think, since we started 2022, we have been talking to students, and I am glad to say that most of the students have been observed by the market. Then there is also another another stage where we get two students from the university, take them as our intern. We have started internship program at Zamara, and we take them to the two best students. We train them and we integrate them and we observe them as our employees. We have taken almost 8 students from University of Rwanda. We are taking few because that's what the company can accommodate. But we need also to take them so that the market can absorb them because they need them. Another thing that I have seen, whenever I take those ones, immediately after 2 years, insurance come to take them. Banks come to take them. Pension schemes take them. Investment funds take them. And also, medical schemes need them. Rama needs them. Those who are familiar with RSSB, Mutuelle de Santé need them. So these are all data part of the actuarial scientists. They can also be data scientists. So we need them, and so we need to have more and more of these partnerships so that we can practically start applying this theoretical knowledge into the daily life of our financial sector and also financial services.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eke. Thank you very much. I will come back to you, and probably I will need you to give me two responses in very short. One, what do you need to scale? Because you said you're taking a few, but you would like to scale. What do you need from the partners here to scale? And maybe responding to what the previous panel was talking about, how do you envision AI into your services? Because that is very critical. And it responds to the question that we had. Is AI here to replace people, or is here to complement business growth? Let me come to you, Adeline, the youth on the panel. You are part of the Digital Trade Advisory Program. CEO has explained an integrated ecosystem where we look at supporting businesses from access to finance, affordable finance or patient finance, to skills, to logistics, to support services, to payment system. All this is intended to really make easy or limit the barriers of entry for most of the small and medium enterprises who are mostly struggling to survive in a very competitive market. But your component really looks at how do we skill them, digital skilling. And we are talking about AI today, and they need to move to AI. We had models from Dr. Amit who mentioned the strategy for India, where they already have AI skill center. As a digital trade advisor, just give us your experience, what you're doing, what you're learning from the SMEs, and probably what would you want universities and private sector to collaborate on. Over to you. Please pull this mic close to yourself. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Richard. My name is Adeline Nibagwire. I am a digital trade advisor at the AE Trade Group. I joined the pilot program in in April this year with other DTA. We are a team of 35 DTAs. So the first 2 months we gain an intensive physical training about digital trade and imaging technologies. In June, we got deployed among these different districts depending on where we live, and starting our jobs as DTAs, we met and support SMEs, small and medium enterprises, by helping them go digital by teaching or advising them how they can use digital tools or digital platform for trade, and changing their mindset to transit from informal to formal business operations. So other main activity as a DTAs were just to onboard them, vendor that are doing Made in Africa product on A-Trade Sokoku Africa platform. This is a Pan-African digital marketplace that link all vendors that are doing Made in Africa product. This platform helps vendor to reach or expand their market, increase sales, and gain the opportunity from trade under RFC FTA framework. So my experience there is somehow transformative and eye-opening together with DTAs, because today some of us got empowered and start their own businesses, and others got hired by some companies due to the visibility we gained. So looking ahead, my aims or goal is to continue onboarding and teaching and coaching main business so that they can go live or do digital trade, but also grow in digital, become a senior in digital inclusion or digital trading. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Adeline. Maybe to close it, and probably I'll come back to each of you with one question. Let me start with the Johnson. Based on the discussions held and looking at A-Trade's integrated ecosystem, what should we take away from here? From your understanding, what should we take away from here in terms of strengthening practical collaboration?
Thank you. I think what we need to take from here is how do we embed skills? How do we look at performance-based partnerships between the private sector and academia? Then how do we even develop digital talent and the career matching platforms, especially with the AI? And secondly, I'm not sure a large part of the Rwandan economy operates in an informal way. So we still have correct me if I'm wrong, but from my own research, we don't have any formalization policy. So we need maybe to look at, make it a policy that is on policy level, how we can encourage formalization based on a policy. But AI is here to stay. I'm one of those who don't believe AI is going to replace anyone unless you are lazy. You can always adapt to what AI tells you to do and also create your own jobs like my sister is talking about here. And having innovation hubs, having integrated systems that use AI, then we can match the skills with the private sector, especially the SMEs. Remember, they constitute a large portion of the business sector here, so we need to work on that. Finally, I don't know where, but I'm leaving it open. Most of our SMEs focus on the local market, meaning that they even operate in our local language. So I'm not sure whether AI, maybe Prince and the group will tell me whether AI will be easy to translate anything in Kinyarwanda, but I'm still waiting. But that's also something we need to think about, because if they are not able to command anything in English, then that's also going to be a gap. And of course, there is going to be inequality between the high techs that we have seen and probably the startups that are emerging. So there is likely to be a gap. So for the next conference next year, we need to have come up with what are the suggestions. Thank you.
That's a very good message, because it says we need, as much as these emerging technologies are coming, let's find the bridging. How do we customize them for the small and medium enterprises? Interestingly, I've been asking ChatGPT in Kinyarwanda and I get answers in Kinyarwanda. So there is something there. Maybe something to be fine-tuned. Let me come to you, Jackie. Quick question. How do you integrate AI into your current training, into job bridging? And what do you need to scale? How do you want partnership to scale? I would propose one of the things. Do you want a partnership with E-Trade Group, University of Rwanda? How do you see it happening? Over to you. Maybe if you can use just 1 minute, I'm sure time is running out.
With AI, it is here to stay. That is for sure. We need it in the financial sector. The trend of the financial sector is so fast. Expectations of clients are very high and very fast. And so we use it for innovation and research. So we need it like yesterday. Let me just one thing that I should mention. When we were talking about e-commerce at the Ministry of Trade and Industry, I remember I was the first person to draft the first concept note. But we were asking ourselves, where is AI? What is this? What is technology, digitalization? We were just wondering. But now, digitalization is it's just another stage. We are talking about AI. And none of us has lost our jobs. So we need to, it is an integration of AI to help us work better, increase efficiency and innovation. Coming back to what can we do to upscale, we need one thing that we need is industrial program for actuarial scientists, for pension financial professionals, because they need to move from that theoretical understanding to practical understanding. That one could be in two parts. One, it could be a coaching and mentorship program, which is followed by exchange program to see how it is done elsewhere. We are getting expertise from across the globe to come and work on our actuarial services. Why can't we train Rwandese? If ENST is our strategy, is our direction, are we going to keep on relying on foreigners? We need to think about it. my question here is, it is our own and we need to own it. So let's look at that industrial training program, which can help us to move from theory to practical. And then we have exchange programs with industrial companies, with big institutions that have excelled in actuarial and financial services. I take an example where I studied from in India, Christ University. We used to have 3 months industrial training to move from class to see what is going in the sector, and it helped us to understand that the theories we are studying could be applied directly to what is done on the market. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Adeline, what would be your parting shot? What is your prospects having participated in the digital trade program? What would you want to share? And especially gearing towards increasing the number of other young people who would benefit from the same opportunity.
Yes. As experience, I've seen that with digital trade, there is possibility to open up frontier between youth and SMEs across Africa and beyond by enabling market access, e-commerce logistic, and secure or cross-border digital payments. So I would aim to keep coaching, training, contribute to digital literacy or capacity building for SMEs so that more of them will come online and become empowered in digital inclusion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for your time. I don't want to probably take the same approach like the previous panels. I don't think we have much time to take the questions, but it would be good to interact in the break time. The most important takeaways here is for us to think about, one, how do we action the collaboration that we're talking about? Partnership between 3 models: university, government, and private sector. And all this should be geared towards identifying these emerging skills that helps the SMEs to stay on course. And I think it should not be necessarily that we train our students to go out there, but we should have an embedded programs that absorb also SMEs to come and learn and apply. It is in that interest that we could have different models, could be AI skills centers that are established within a university, executive MBAs for SMEs that are interested in a certain areas of interest. So there are so many actionable models or approaches that we can use to support our SMEs to stay on course. Allow me with that note to end it here and keep the discussion going even in our break time. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause to our presenters. So I think as we go to the next activity, for me from this panel discussion, I have a takeaway for the next conference of this. How can we minimize the mortality rate of SMEs before birth? Okay, I think the next conference you should discuss about that, because the survival of startups, it's on 0.0 something. So how can we minimize the mortality rate? Next conference. So as we go forward, I'm just giving some overview of about the next activities. After the next activity, we are going through the breakout sessions where we have 3 tracks. The first track is in room 111. I think you know that room in the university headquarters, the very beautiful building down there. Here it will be led by Professor Jonas Barayandema, and the discussant will be Dr. Fide Mutemberezi. Then this next track, which is track 2, will be in room 112, the same building, be led by Professor Samuel Mutarindwa. The discussant will be Dr. Gilles Ngango. Then the track 3 will be here, will stay here. Okay? To be led by Dr. Jean-Baptiste Habyarimana, and the discussant will be Dr. Benjamin Mudaheranwa. So the next, as the chair of the moderator of the panelists was saying, that the caffeine is now down. Let us go for a coffee break and tea break. Enjoy. Thank you. Hello. Coffee is at the same place as yesterday. Please let us use this time. We have only 20 minutes for coffee break. 20 minutes for coffee break, then we go to our breakout.
Iyo myitozo yari imaze igihe, aba bana barambiwe ishyanga, nibwo bafashe umuheto bati turatashye. Ngombwa yaraganje, nasanze abahungu bambariye urugamba. Rwabihama yabwiye abazungu, nimushake mushire ku mapingu, mucyo wa Rutinywa sinzahara u Rwanda sakanyirawe. Ngombwa yaraganje, nasanze abahungu bambariye urugamba. Barafora bakarasa ntibahusha, nibishake bigere kubabisha, bamenye yuko u Rwanda rurinzwe n'intare sakanyirawe. Ngombwa yaraganje, nasanze abahungu bambariye urugamba. Doratemba neza rumanzi ntiwarora, yizihiye ingamba gitwari ntiwarora, ingeri baririmba ni rumata ntiwarora, intwari kwana barabimariye ntiwarora, uwusha intego byo ntibishoboka, iby'imusozi byose iby'i Rwanda. Inkubito y'umuriro ibigango y'amarere cyane rudakangwa mu kuzicyaha, ndi Rutimu ngeri baririmba rwa mwaga mu ngabo yogenga we Inkotanyi, ndi mudatinya zigana itabaro, wafashe mpiri kabiri mbarasiraho bandeba umukogoto w'amarere nkanga umurindi hasi ndarekera, ngira ingoga sintinda ngira imbaraga simbashwa, iyo nikinye umurego njya kubaza nyir'isuri cyahise ndinka ngiye kumurasa mbanza kumusaka ntinyabusi ye nahuye n'abazungu roma twice nkende ndayicishaho ngo ukomeretsa cyane umuhungu ni nkangi wamurashe reka reka turi muhonga mbese wamuhiga reka reka dore atemba neza rumanzi ntiwarora yizihiye ingamba gitwari ntiwarora ingeri baririmba ni rumata ntiwarora intwari kwana warabimariye ntiwarora guhusha intego byo ntibishoboka reka reka iby'imusozi byose by'irwanda reka reka ndetse cyitabararwa umurongo rwara ku mukondo rwahogoje ababisarutsa mu bicika ingabo inganzo yanjye ndikunda ndataraka ndizibukira ndatamika ndafora nsuka nsukiranya urufa y'imisakura isa rikabisaza ndabakundi bihame iyo dutabaye mama we mama we ndabakunda cyane muri muhungamba mama we mama we ndavuga kitatire cya mutabazi mama we mama we yari tati yaratera atera babisha ubwoba mama we mama we ibihame by'Imana ndabakunda cyane mama we mama we ibihame by'Imana ndabatashya cyane mama we mama we icyogere mu bahungu ngombwa mama we isati basumba iyo muvumba
One time again, tu m'as jamais laissé tomber. Jesus, you dey give me love I have never seen. Since ofata konje, yo kuririmbira Uwiteka Imana. No mu bihe bigoye tuguma dute. One time again. One time again, tu m'as jamais laissé tomber. Jesus, you dey give me love I have never seen. Since ofata konje, yo kuririmbira Uwiteka Imana. No mu bihe bigoye tuguma duteza. Kugendana na Yesu niko guteza. Yanesheje urupfu dutwa dance like this. Akira Yesu tuza dutambe atagufeka ingumunezero. Danse comme ça, bouge comme ça. Ndafise impamvu yo kuririmba kompa narababariwe. Moi je danse comme ça, danse comme ça, bouge comme ça. Ndafise impamvu yo kuririmba kompa narababariwe. Moi je danse comme ça. Nimba bitonye cyane ubabutse kungwanya aho gico nsaba nukungomeza hasta la vista tu mafia oh Imana niyo baba sino papa ibyo satana avuga never mind oh uzirundo ngoroyemwo singata never fear even in the fire no mu bihe bigoye tuguma duteza kugendana na Yesu niko guteza yanesheje urupfu dutwa dance like this Akira Yesu tuza dutambe Danse comme ça, bouge comme ça. Ndafise impamvu yo kuririmba kompa
They are one of AFCT and trade agreement, digital trade, global value chain, trade and the environment. So you can join any of your choice.
Okay, that I will do immediately. I'm on trade and environment.
Okay, that's the one we are in now.
Okay,
You
good.
join it,
And
you
should I leave?
will meeting us there.
Good. Thank you.
Yes. You are the next president.
You are from Lesotho? Yeah. Oh, you are the first? Yeah, I'm the first. And you are the Get from me. Yeah, I can try.
They can set you. Uriya mugabo wambaye mpuzamahanga online members, please join the breakout session of your choice. We have 3 breakout sessions. Session 1 is AF, CFTA and trade agreement. Second one, digital trade and the global value chain. The third one is trade and environment. So join any of your choice. So to join, there is an icon called participants. Click on participants. On the very top, you can see choose a session. If you click on it, you will see the 3 sessions so that you can join any of your choice. Thank you.
The sun is setting gold on the trees. A gentle breeze is dancing free. Water's humming a sweet melody. Feels like the world is slowing for me. Boots off, toes in the sand. Fireflies glowing over the land. where my heart and the river meet. Down by the river bend where time runs slow, where laughter lingers from years ago. Kicking back, feeling free again. Nothing beats a peaceful evening wind. Moonlight shimmers on ripples wide, a cane pole dipping on the waterside. A country tune hums low and deep, singing to the stars as they fall asleep. Down by the river bend where time runs slow, where laughter lingers from years ago. Kicking back, feeling free again. Nothing beats a peaceful evening wind. Maybe tomorrow I'll hit the road, but tonight I've got nowhere to go. Just me and the crickets, the sky so grand, holding this moment in the palm of my hand. Down by the river bend where time runs slow, where laughter lingers from years ago. And kicking back, feeling free again. Nothing beats a peaceful evening wind. The sun is setting and I'm right where I belong.
Fatima Mbalak. Fatima Mbalak, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
So which session do you want to join?
I'm a speaker for the trade and environment in the trade and environment track.
Trade and environment.
Sunshine peeking through my old screen door. Coffee's brewing, boots tap the floor. A guitar hums in the morning light. Another easy day before a highway night. Barefoot walking through the tall green grass. Slow life whispers, don't rush too fast. The river sings, the wind
Yes, I'm
plays
also a
along.
speaker in the track 3 trade.
Every breath here feels like a song. Easy days and highway nights, small town stars and neon lights.
Okay, join now.
Drifting slow or chasing time. Either way, this heart feels right. Trucks roll past as the sun fades low. Tail lights gleaming like fireflies glow. Windows down, feeling wild and free. Between the road and home, that's where I'll be. Easy days and highway nights, small town stars and neon lights. Drifting slow or chasing time. Either way, this heart feels right. Some nights I stay, some nights I roam, but every road still leads me home. Easy days and highway nights, small town stars and neon lights.
nights I stay, some nights I roam, but every road still leads me home. Rolling down an old dirt lane, windows down, smelling summer rain, tires kicking up a golden dust, feeling free, just the road and us. Creek beds calling cool and deep, barefoot dancing where the willows weep, sun sinking low behind the trees, soft wind humming through the memory. Back roads and fireflies lighting up the night, drifting slow beneath the southern sky. Ain't got nowhere that I gotta be, just the moon, this truck, and you with me. Old love songs on the radio, soft hands swaying, taking it slow, laughter echoing through the pines, feeling lucky, feeling right tonight. Back roads and fireflies lighting up the night, drifting slow beneath the southern sky. Ain't got nowhere that I gotta be, just the moon, this truck, and you with me. Taking the long way home tonight, just chasing dreams in firefly light. Back roads and fireflies lighting up the night, drifting slow beneath the southern sky. Ain't got nowhere that I gotta be, just the moon, this truck, and you with me. Taking the long way home at night, just chasing dreams and firefly light.
Give me a road that don't rush by, where the river's humming and the trees stand high. Little old town where time moves sweet, a front porch swing and a melody,
A dusty trail where the horses run, golden fields in the setting sun. Ain't gotta chase what I don't need, just the open sky and the summer breeze.
take me somewhere slow, where the wildflowers grow, where the wind sings soft and the blue bonnets glow. No need to hurry, no need to go, just wanna be somewhere slow. Morning coffee in a quiet little dream. Take me somewhere slow, where the wildflowers grow, where the wind sings soft and the bluebonnets glow. No need to hurry, no need to go. Just wanna be somewhere slow. Let the world keep spinning on. I'll stay right here till the break of dawn. Take me somewhere slow, where the wildflowers grow, where the wind sings soft and the bluebonnets glow. No need to hurry, no need to go. Just wanna be somewhere slow. Let the world keep spinning on. I'll stay right here till the break of dawn.
Okay, you are pretty familiar with it. It's simply connect. Do you have a flash drive?
I don't have a flash.
Can you? Okay, perfect. You have a PowerPoint?
Yes, it'll be a PDF. Running through my hair.
That's all right.
Stars
so
burn bright
can it be
like
a
a
PowerPoint
neon dream.
No.
Soft guitar
Okay.
playing by
Maybe
the
not,
old oak
But-
tree. There's a
So,
full moon glowing on the river
using
wide.
is simply swiping.
Waves roll
Okay,
easy
give up.
like the way we slide. Barefoot steps on a gravel road, singing along to a song we know.
So we
Whiskey skies and southern nights.
Yes. But the first speaker is ready. So everyone
Fireflies dancing in golden light. A little bit of love, a little bit of time, feeling free in the warm moonshine. A slow two-step in the midnight air. No one's watching, no one cares. Ain't nothing fancy, just simple and right. Lost in the magic of a southern night. Whiskey skies and southern nights. Fireflies dancing in golden light. A little bit of love, a little bit of time, feeling free in the warm moonshine. Let's stay right here till the break of dawn,
PowerPoint.
singing our hearts
I have
out
to show you the screen.
till the
That's my job.
night
Don't worry about it.
is gone.
Using it very easy.
Rusty skies and southern nights.
Here.
Fireflies dancing
Yeah, so I just
in golden light.
So I will.
A little bit of love, a little bit more time, feeling free in the warm moonshine.
coffee steaming, taking my time. Barefoot walking on the old porch wood. Ain't got nowhere to be, but it feels so good. Radio's humming a tune I know. Soft wind dancing with the cottonwoods glow. Clouds drift lazy in a sky so wide. Feeling just right with you by my side. Oh, it's a Sunday kind of easy, slow and sweet. Rocking on the front porch, tapping my feet. No rush, no worries, just a gentle breeze. Oh, it's a Sunday kind of easy, just you and me. Down by the creek where the wildflowers grow, skipping stones where the cool water flows. Laughter echoes light and free. A perfect day, just let it be. Oh, it's a Sunday kind of easy, slow and sweet. Rocking on the front porch, tapping my feet. No rush, no worries, just a gentle breeze. Oh, it's a Sunday kind of easy, just you and me. Sun sinks low, but we ain't done. Still humming that song till the moonlight comes. No rush, no worries, just a gentle breeze. Oh, it's a Sunday kind of easy, just you and me. Down by the creek where the wildflowers grow, skipping stones where the cool water flows. No rush, no worries, just a gentle breeze. Oh, it's a Sunday kind of easy, just you and me. The morning sun paints the sky in gold. Rolling wheels got no plans, no home. Wind in my hair, a song in my soul. Drifting down the highway, feeling whole. Oh, I'm drifting, just me and the road. Let the river of time gently flow. No worries, no weight, just the breeze. A simple life is all I need. Mountains rise in the rear view glass, leaving behind what don't need to last. Coffee warm, a heart so light, chasing the dawn, chasing the night. Oh, I'm drifting, just
So in this track, you have two presenters. The first presenter will present on topic operationalizing the community A composition index approach to justice trade related higher education in the global south. The presenter will be Etuchi Ngoto Jichuru. And the next presenter will present on topic the role of regional trade in enhancing African absorptive and adaptive capacity to global crisis. So the presenter will be Dr. Bisuru Oyeman Fati. So because the both presenter will be online, so I'm going to check with the technical team whether they are online to start the presentation. Hello, Dr. Bisuru. Can you hear us? Doctor, hello? Is he connected? Okay. Probably he's on mute. Bisuru, you are on mute. You can unmute yourself so that we can hear from you. Hello, Dr. Basuru, can you hear us? So I think that he's on mute. Eh? Uwundi? Okay, hoya yitwa Basuru uriya Basuru. Kuriya uyu hari uwitwa Unontuza Yakishudoto. Hello, Prophet. Uri na hano mu matente nose waje ukaceyagiza uri muri iyo track ya gatatu ko turi muri ya twese tuzamo twese ntabwo uri kumwe na Jonas uri muri track ya gatatu iri kubera nyine hamwe twateraniye mu gitondo ntundi muperezida kuko abona ari gucaringa online bahuze ngino rero muceyaginge perezida none siri aho ngaho kubwirika nose si wowe urizo kuceyaginga uramufite ni ukuvuga yari muri taraki ibanza none ibanza yateranije abantu wowe waza ugacenya aho uri discussion ugapresenta ugacaringiye session nazo zifata kugira nazo zishobora yari gusenge batisimbuza indusesha alo prof abantu bo muri track ya gatatu baje aho ngaho nka Kadati na Joseph niho bari ariko cyangwa okay